Hi everybody, welcome back. I have no idea if anyone's actually gonna come in, but yeah. It's been a while, I know. And my last one. Oh, hi Party Man. How are you? I promise I'm not gonna be talking about plants or anything like that in this video like I did last time. You are the first person. I'm surprised that Kat's not in here. Though I think she's doing something for her birthday, so I don't know. I'm surprised Carson's not in here too, since he asked me to stream yesterday. The wedding was good. I'm still trying to figure out a way to make a video of some pictures from the wedding and the reception so I can post those online, or post those on YouTube. What do you mean? Was it a big wedding or a small wedding? Is that what you're asking? There was probably, well, 75 people said they were coming, but I think only like 55 people actually showed up. So it was pretty small. It was mostly Jordan's family. My parents came and my little sister, but that was it for my family. Well, except for one of my biological sisters. I got to meet her for the first time at the wedding, which was cool. Her and her boyfriend and her 3 kids. She came, which was cool. My other 3 biological siblings were supposed to be there, but for some reason they weren't able to make it. I don't even know. One of them had car trouble, another one couldn't get the day off, and I don't even know what happened with the other one. But yeah. You technically got invited. I just didn't send out any like actual invitations to you guys, but you technically got invited. A few streams like before the wedding, but no, it was pretty much only Jordan's family. But it was okay. Most of them I never met before, so it was a little awkward for me. Except we didn't have like a bachelor and bachelorette party. We kind of had a combined party the Wednesday before the wedding. So I got to meet some of them then, which was pretty cool. Otherwise, I probably would have ended up having a panic attack or something. Which I almost did the day of the wedding because it was a lot of stress. Not the wedding itself. Like, I was ready for that. Just, there was a lot more people than what I'm used to being around. Yeah, at some point I will create a video of some pictures, from the wedding, so you guys can see how I looked. Do you guys know who Nick Barrett is? No. I mean, I probably do, but I don't recognize the name. My dress was very simple, which I'm a simple person, so it worked. Not what I meant. But, yes. I kind of cut my shirt too big. Or too, low. Oh well. I'm wearing a tank top underneath, so you don't have to worry about seeing anything. But, yeah. Nope. Jordan wore a bow tie. Yeah. Show my shoulders. Nope. Yeah, Jordan wore bow tie and suspenders, and he said that he felt like an Amish person, and I'm just like, sure. It makes me feel like I'm back in middle school. I used to get in trouble all the time for showing my shoulders. Why are you acting that? Come on. I don't know what's going on with my phone right now. Wait, I can. Ooh, dude. Yeah, that happened when I was. Oh, that's cool. That's trippy. Rainbows. Yes. Sorry, I just found like I can do. Whoa, that's creepy. Ah, I can do like. They kinda get in my face. Here, I'll do rainbows. Oh, that's cool. What? Sorry. I'm having probably way too much fun with this, then that's cool. I can do different, like, I didn't know that. Okay, I'll go back to normal. Nope. Okay. And now you're gonna lag. I see. Okay. True, that still happens in high school. What? That happened when I was in high school too. But it started when I was in middle school. I get in trouble for showing my shoulders, which was stupid. Because they let you wear tank tops as long as it was like 2 fingers thick. But then you got in trouble for wearing tank tops. It's like, then why have it in the rule book that you can wear them? I know, I like the rainbow one too. Wow. Ooh. That's kind of trippy though. But yeah. Ooh. That's pretty cool too. It makes it look like I'm high or like you're high. Cause I feel like watching me be like that would trip you out to make you think that you're high. That didn't make any sense. Ignore that. It's like those goggles that they make you wear in driver's ed, that like the drunk goggles. I don't know if you've ever worn them, but it's like that. I hated those things. Like, it made me want to throw up. Maybe part of it, that might be part of the reason why I don't really get drunk very much. I try not to. It's been a while since I've gotten drunk. Mm-hmm. Oh, my head. Hold on. I can't. Oh, Nightbot's in here. All messages. I don't know. Nightbot died. I know, I haven't seen Nightbot in a while. I'm not really sure what happened. Sorry about that. I know. I'll have to look up Nightbot and see if I can figure out what happened. I gave him a sock. He's a free Nightbot now. Oh, hold on. BRB. And I'm back. And you're really laggy. There we go. That's a little better. So I had fake nails on for the wedding, and I took them off the other day, but when I took them off, they peeled off like part of my skin because my nails are short. So even though it's been like a week, that my nails still hurt. It's like, never doing that again. I don't know why I put myself through that in the first place. But yeah. They even dug into like my actual nail. Why is your heart rate so high? Don't know. Okay, hold on. Sorry, people. There we go. I didn't write any notes about last night. Whoops. March 30th, 2019. Gideon fell asleep around 7:30 p.m. No fever. Took cap off around 10 p.m. Heart rate was high. What time is it? At 1 a.m. There we go. I have another person watching, but I don't know who it is. They're kind of just lurking. Oh, I have 3 people watching now. I wonder if one of them is Carson. Oh, they just left. Poop. Not that I'm really doing much, so I don't expect people to stay in for very long. Ouch. What'd you guys do today? And by today, I technically mean yesterday. Since it's 1 o'clock in the morning. So that means it's technically Sunday. Oh, another person came in. Woo. And left again. What the heck? Broken lightsaber. Now it's just a sword. Gideon broke the end off of it. Well, Cinnamon chewed the actual plastic end, and then Gideon pulled it off completely. A very chatty crowd I have. Hold on. BRB. Still gone. Oh, I have 4 people. 5 people. Still gone. Oh. Nightbot? Or me? Have any of you actually read the Star Wars books? Oh, me. I have. I actually read the books before I saw the movies. I think I saw the movies when I was about 12, I think. And the books were already out. I got them from the library. What's going on with my hair? They're actually pretty good. I like them, but they're a little different, I guess, as far as like style of books that I would normally read. Just the way that the author wrote them. But do you guys like Star Wars? If you can't tell by my shirt, I am very nerdy. And Star Wars is probably one of my favorite movie series. Well, my #1 favorite movie series, for most of you who know me would know this, it's the Harry Potter series. Then it's probably Star Wars. And then The Lord of the Rings / The Hobbit. I put those together because they kind of correspond with each other. Plus they're written by the same author. But yeah. And I think those are probably the 3 most popular, I think, movie series. Like, those are the ones that I think you hear about the most. Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, and Harry Potter. I mean, if you're not going by, like, superheroes. Which, I was actually having a conversation with Jordan a while ago. Because Jordan likes mostly DC. Jordan mostly likes Marvel. I like mostly DC, except I like both Marvel and DC, because like I like Iron Man, but I also like The Flash, Supergirl. Not really a big fan of Superman. Obviously I like Batman. So yeah. But we were having a conversation because Jordan was asking me which I like more, DC or Marvel, and I'm like, I can't really say which one I like more or less, because I like equal amount of characters from both. Yeah, but so I never really understood the whole like which one is better argument, because I'm like, both have produced pretty good superheroes. Both have produced some kind of stupid superheroes, in my opinion. So, like, you can't really say which one is worse and which one is better. You kind of have to go by characters, I guess. But yeah, so that's my rant on Marvel and DC. Aquaman is Marvel, right? The new Aquaman movie. He's Marvel, I think. Probably. That sounds like a Marvel character. My father-in-law wants to see it and was going to wait until it came on Netflix, but Netflix took all of their Marvel stuff off last month, I think it was, or maybe it was this month, and so we're going to rent it instead. But the trailer looked kind of weird, but I still want to see it. I mean, I don't think there is a superhero movie that well, the new Spider-Man movie, I think is probably the only new superhero movie that I haven't seen yet. But yeah. Wow. I just went on a complete rant about something not related to Star Wars at all. Even though I was going to read from the book. Sounds like me. But yeah. I don't even know if any of that made sense. I'm a little tired, in case you can't tell. We haven't had a night nurse in almost 2 weeks. Yeah, it's been like 10 days already. Hi, Joker. How are you? I'm alright. I'm tired, but otherwise I'm okay. Oh, it's like, hold on. It is 1:20 where I live. Nope. I have to stay up until 7 a.m. I have a 3-year-old with special needs who medically requires. Thank you. I appreciate that. He requires someone to be up with him at night, so that's me. So I won't be going to bed until 7 o'clock in the morning, which I am halfway through the night. Yes. I'm also married, by the way. It is hard sometimes, but it's the best job in the world. Some days are a lot harder than others, but I appreciate that. Yeah, Gideon has something called Noonan syndrome, which is a little bit like Down syndrome in that it's a genetic disorder. Thank you. I tried. But yeah, he has a genetic disorder that affects his heart, so he's on like 4 different heart medications. He's got severe allergies, so he's on 3 different allergy medications plus an inhaler, so there's a lot of work when it comes to him, but I think I was born to be a mom, even before I had had Gideon, I was always that mom friend who took care of everyone and freaked out when they did something stupid, because every group of friends has one friend like that. A lot of my friends get frustrated when I'm like that, but they also know that when they come to my house, I feed them, so. Thank you. I hope you have a great day. London. Wow. That's cool. I've always wanted to visit London. I'm in the United States, which isn't that great right now. But yeah. But thank you. I appreciate you, and I appreciate what you said. That feels nice. I have 7 people watching. Holy crap. Now I'm back to 6. But yeah. But yeah, that's my short spiel about my son. It's not as hard as most people seem to think it is. I mean, it is, in that when you think about it, or when you write it down on paper, or when you say it, it sounds like a lot of work, but after a while it kind of feels like second nature. You worry like any other normal parent, I guess. I mean, you have to worry about things a little bit more. Making sure he doesn't overdo it with activities, make sure he takes breaks during the day, things like that I don't think most parents have to worry a whole lot about. But other than like looking at him and seeing how active he is, you would have thought he's like any other 3-year-old. Other than the fact that he can't talk yet, but we're working on that. He has forms of communicating, but that's what we're working on right now. Yeah, but I wonder if my camera will pick it up, but let me see. Probably not. I think it's too dark in here. Nope. Not yet. Maybe if nope. I was gonna show you him sleeping, but my camera's not picking it up, so whatever. Let me see if I can get this to, there we go, sit. And I'm back down to 2, of course. But yeah. Yay! 3. But I'm surprised Carson's not in here. He probably went to bed. Which is also kind of surprising since he doesn't have school tomorrow. I don't know. And back down to 1. I've been streaming for a little over a half hour already. Holy crap. It feels like it's only been like 15 minutes or something. And let me guess, my one viewer right now is Party Man. And I have 2 viewers. Yay! Alright, I'm going to read, since no one's saying anything. Alright, I am reading the first book in the Star Wars trilogy, which is A New Hope. You can stay and listen if you want. You don't have to. I'm not going to force you. You can talk. I will answer anything that you say when I actually read it. But yeah. Okay. This is the prologue. Another galaxy, another time. The Old Republic was a republic of legend, greater than distance or time. No need to know where it was or whence it came, only to know that it was the Republic. Once, under the wise rule of the Senate and the protection of the Jedi Knights, the Republic throve and grew. But as often happens when wealth and power pass beyond the admirable and attain the awesome, then appear those evil ones who have great to match. So it was with the Republic at its height. Like the greatest of trees, able to withstand any external attack, the Republic rotted from within, though the danger was not visible from outside. Aided and abetted by restless, power-hungry individuals within the government and a massive organ of commerce, the ambitious Senator Palpatine caused himself to be elected president of the Republic. He promised to reunite the disaffected among the people and to restore the remembered glory of the Republic. Once secure in office, he declared himself emperor, shutting himself away from the populace. Soon, he was controlled by the very assistants and bootlickers he had appointed to high office, and the cries of the people for justice did not reach his ears. Having exterminated through treachery and deception the Jedi Knights, guardians of justice in the galaxy, the imperial governors and bureaucrats prepared to institute a reign of terror among the disheartened worlds of the galaxy. Many used the imperial forces in the name of the increasingly isolated emperor to further their own personal ambition. But a small number of systems rebelled at this new outrages. Declaring themselves opposed to the new order, they began the great battle to restore the old Republic. From the beginning, they were vastly outnumbered by the systems held in thrall by the Emperor. In those first dark days, it seemed certain the bright flame of resistance would be extinguished before it could cast the light of new truth across a galaxy of oppressed and beaten people. Chapter 1. It was a vast, shining globe, and it cast a light of topaz into space. But it was not a sun, thus the planet had fooled men for a long time. Not until entering close orbit around it did its discoverers realize that this was a world in a binary system and not a third sun itself. At first it seemed certain nothing could exist on such a planet, least of all humans. Yet both massive G1 and G2 stars orbited a common center with peculiar regularity, and Tatooine circled them far enough out to permit the development of a rather stable, if exquisitely hot climate. Mostly this was a dry desert of a world, whose unusual star-like yellow glow was the result of double sunlight striking sodium-rich sands and flats. That same sunlight suddenly shone on the thin skin of a metallic shape falling crazily towards the atmosphere. The erratic course the galactic cruiser was traveling was intentional, not the product of injury, but of a desperate desire to avoid it. Long streaks of intense energy slid close past its hull, a multi-hued storm of destruction like a school of rainbow remoras fighting to attach themselves to a larger, unwilling host. One of those probing, questing beams succeeded in touching the fleeting ship, striking its principal solar fin. Gem-like fragments of metal and plastic erupted into space as the end of the fin disintegrated. The vessel seemed to shudder. The source of those multiple energy beams suddenly hove into view. A lumbering Imperial cruiser, its massive outline bristling cactus-like with dozens of heavy weapon emplacements. Light ceased arching from those spines now as the cruiser moved in close. Intermediate explosions and flashes of lights could be seen in those portions of the smaller ship which had taken hit. In the absolute cold of space, the cruiser snuggled up alongside its wounded prey. Another distinct explosion shook the ship. But it certainly didn't feel distant to R2-D2 and C-3PO. The concussion bounced them around the narrow corridor like bearings in an old motor. To look at these two, one would have supposed that the tall, human-like machine, 3PO, was the master, and the stubby tripodal robot, R2-D2, an inferior. But while 3PO might have sniffed disdainfully at the suggestion, they were in fact equal in everything save loquacity. Here, 3PO was clearly, and necessarily, the superior. Still another explosion rattled the corridor, throwing 3PO off balance. His shorter companion had the better of it during such moments with his squat, cylindrical body's low center of gravity, well balanced on thick clawed legs. R2 glanced up at 3PO, who was steadying himself against a corridor wall. Lights blinked enigmatically around a single mechanical eye as the smaller robot studied the battered casing of his friend. A patina of metal and fibrous dust coated the usual gleaming bronze finish, and there was some visible dents, all the result of the pounding the rebel ship they were on had been taking. Accompanying the last attack was a persistent deep hum which even the loudest explosion had not been able to drown out. Then, for no apparent reason, the thrumming abruptly ceased, and the only sounds in the otherwise deserted corridor came from the eerie dry twig crackle of shortening relays or the pops of dying circuitry. Explosions began to echo through the ship once more, but they were far away from the corridor. 3PO turned his smooth, human-like head to one side. Metallic ears listened intently. The imitation of a human pose was hardly necessary. 3PO's auditory sensors were fully omnidirectional, but the slim robot had been programmed to blend perfectly among human company. This programming extended even to mimicry of human gestures. "Did you hear that?" he inquired rhetorically of his patient companion, referring to the throbbing sound. "They've shut down the main reactor in the drive." His voice was as full of disbelief and concern as that of any human. One metallic palm rubbed at a patch of dull gray on his side, where a broken hull brace had fallen and scored the bronze finish. 3PO was a facetious machine, and such things troubled him. "Madness! This is madness!" He shook his head slowly. "This time we will be destroyed for sure." R2 did not comment immediately. Barrel torso tilted backward, powerful legs gripping the deck. The meter-high robot was engrossed in studying the roof overhead. Though he did not have a head to cock to in listening posture like his friend, R2 still somehow managed to convey this impression. A series of short beeps and chirps issued from his speaker. To even a sensitive human ear, they would have been just so much static, but to 3PO they formed words as clear and pure as direct current. Yes, I suppose they did have to shut the drive down, 3PO admitted. But what are we going to do now? We can't enter atmosphere with our main stabilizer fin destroyed. I can't believe we're simply going to surrender. A small band of armed humans suddenly appeared, rifles held at the ready. Their expressions were as worry-wrinkled as their uniform, and they carried about them the aura of men prepared to die. 3PO watched silently until they had vanished around a far bend in the passageway, then looked back at R2. The smaller robot hadn't shifted from his position of listening. 3PO's gaze turned upward also, though he knew R2's senses were slightly sharper than his own. What is it, R2? A short burst of beeping came in response. Another moment, and there was no need for highly attuned sensors. For a moment or two more, the corridor remained deadly silent. Then a faint scrape could be heard, like a cat at a door, from somewhere up above. That strange noise was produced by heavy footsteps and the movement of bulky equipment somewhere on the ship's hull. When several muffled explosions sounded, 3PO murmured, "They've broken in somewhere above us. There's no escape for the captain this time." Turning, he peered down at R2. "I think we'd better." A shriek of overstressed metal filled the air before he could finish, and the far end of the passageway was lit by a blinding flash. Somewhere down there, the little cluster of armed crew who had passed by minutes before had encountered the ship's attackers. 3PO turned his face and delicate photoceptors away, just in time to avoid the fragments of metal that flew down the corridor. At the far end, a gaping hole appeared in the roof, and reflective forms like big metal beads began dropping to the corridor floor. Both robots knew that no machine could match the fluidity with which those shapes moved and instantly assumed fighting postures. The new arrival were human in armor, not mechanical. One of them looked straight at 3PO. No, not at him. The panic robot thought frantically, but past him. The figure shifted its big rifle around in armored hands, but too late. A beam of intense light struck the head, sending pieces of armor, bone, and flesh flying in all directions. Half the invading Imperial troops turned and began returning fire up the corridor, aiming past the two robots. "Quick, this way," 3PO ordered, intending to retreat from the Imperials. R2 turned with him. They had taken only a couple of steps when they saw the rebel crewmen in position ahead, firing down the corridor. In seconds, the passageway was filled with smoke and crisscrossing beams of energy. Red, green, and blue bolts ricocheted off the polished sections of wall and floor, ripped along gashes and metal surfaces. Screams of injured and dying humans, a peculiarly unrobotic sound, 3PO thought, echoed piercingly above the inorganic destruction. One beam struck near the robot's feet at the same time as the second one burst the wall directly behind him, exposing sparking circuitry and rows of conduits. The force of the twin blasts tumbled 3PO into the shredding cables where a dozen different currents turned him into a jerking, twisting display. Strange sensations coursed through his metal nerve ends. They caused no pain, only confusion. Every time he moved and tried to free himself, there was another violent crackling as a fresh cluster of componentry broke. The noise and the man-made lighting remained constant around him as the battle continued to rage. Smoke began to fill the corridor. R2-D2 bustled about trying to help free his friend. The little robot evidenced a phlegmatic indifference to the raving energies filling the passageway. He was built so low that most of the beams passed over him anyway. "Help!" 3PO yelled, suddenly frightened as a new message from an internal sensor. "I think something is melting. Free my left leg. The trouble's near the pelvic servo motor. Sorry." Typically, his tone turned abruptly from pleading to berating. "This is all your fault," he shouted angrily. "I should have known better than to trust the logic of a half-sized thermocapillary dishousing sister. I don't know why you insist we leave our assigned stations to come down the stupidest access corridor. Not that it matters now. The whole ship must be—" R2-D2 cut him off in mid-speech with some angry beeping and hoots of his own, though he continued to cut and pull with precision at the tangled high-voltage cables. "Is that so?" 3PO sneered in reply. "The same to you, you little—" An exceptionally violent explosion shook the passage, drowning him out. A lunge-searing miasma of carbonized component filled the air, obscuring everything. 2 meters tall, bipedal, flowing black robes trailing from the figure in a face forever masked by a functional, if bizarre, black metal breathe screen. A Dark Lord of the Sith was an awesome, threatening shape as it strode through the corridors of the rebel ship. Fear followed the footsteps of all the Dark Lords. The cloud of evil which clung tight about this particular one was intense enough to cause hardened Imperial troops to back away, menacing enough to set them muttering nervously amongst themselves. Once resolute rebel crew members ceased resisting, broke and ran in panic at the sight of the black armor which, though black as it was not nearly as dark as the thoughts drifting through the mind within. One purpose, one thought, one obsession dominated that mind now. It burned in the brain of Darth Vader as he turned down another passageway in the broken fighter. There, smoke was beginning to clear, though the sound of faraway fighting still resounded through the hull. The battle here had ended and moved on. Only a robot was left to stir freely in the wake of the Dark Lord's passing. C-3PO finally stepped clear of the last restraining cable. Somewhere behind him, human screams could be heard from where relentless Imperial troops were mopping up the last remnants of rebel resistance. 3PO glanced down and saw only scarred deck. As he looked around, his voice was full of concern. "R2-D2, where are you?" The smoke seemed to part just a bit more. 3PO found himself staring up the passageway. R2-D2, it seemed, was there, but he wasn't looking in 3PO's direction. Instead, the little robot appeared frozen in an attitude of attention. Leaning over him was, it was difficult even 3PO's electronic photoreceptors to penetrate the clinging acid smoke, a human figure. It was young, slim, and by human standards was authentic. 3PO mused of a calm beauty. One small hand seemed to be moving over the front of R2's torso. 3PO started toward them as the haze thickened once more, but when he reached the end of the corridor, only R2 stood there waiting. 3PO peered past him uncertain. Robots are occasionally subject to electronic hallucinations, but why should he hallucinate a human? He shrugged. Then again, why not, especially when one considered the confusing circumstances of the past hour and the dose of raw current he had recently absorbed. He shouldn't be surprised at anything his internal circuits conjured up. "Where have you been?" 3PO finally asked. "Hiding, I suppose." He decided not to mention the maybe human. If it had been a hallucination, he wasn't going to give R2 the satisfaction of knowing how badly recent events had unsettled his logic circuits. "They'll be coming back this way," he went on, nodding down the corridor, and not giving the small automaton a chance to reply. "Looking for human survivors. What are we going to do now? They won't trust a word of rebel-owned machines that we don't know anything of value. We'll be sent to the spice mines of Kessel or taken apart for spare components for other, less deserving robots. That's if they don't consider us potential program traps and blow us apart on sight. If we don't..." R2 had already turned and was ambling quickly back down the passageway. "Wait, where are you going?" "Haven't you been listening to me?" Uttering curses in several languages, some purely mechanical, 3PO raced fluidly after his friend. The R2 unit, he thought to himself, could be downright close-circuited when it wanted to. Outside the Galactic Cruiser's control center, the corridor was crowded with sullen prisoners gathered by Imperial troops. Some lay wounded, some dying. Several officers had been separated from the enlisted ranks and stood in a small group by themselves, bestowing belligerent looks and threats on the silent knot of troops holding them at bay. As if on command, everyone, Imperial troops as well as rebels, became silent as a massive caped form came into view from behind a turn in the passage. Two of the heretofore resolute, obstinate rebel officers began to shake. Stopping before one of the men, the towering figure reached out wordlessly. A massive hand closed around the man's neck and lifted him off the deck. The rebel officer's eyes bulged, but he kept his silence. An Imperial officer, his armed helmet shoved back to reveal a recent scar where an energy beam had penetrated his shielding, scrambled down out of the fighter's control room, shaking his head briskly. "Nothing, sir. Information retrieval system's been wiped clean." Darth Vader acknowledged this news with barely a nod. The impenetrable mask seemed to regard the officer he was torturing. Metal-clad fingers contracted. Reaching out, the prisoner desperately tried to pry them loose, but to no avail. "Where is the data you intercepted?" Vader rebelled dangerously. "What have you done with the information tapes?" "We intercepted no information," the dangling officer gurgled, barely able to breathe. From somewhere deep within, he dredged up a squeal of outrage. "This is a consular vessel. Do you not see our exterior markings? We're on a diplomatic mission." "Chaos, take your mission," Vader growled. "Where are those tapes?" He squeezed harder, and the threat in his grip implicated. When he finally replied, the officer's voice was a bare, choked whisper. "Only the commander knows." "The ship carries the system crest of Alderaan," Vader growled, the gargoyle-like breath mask closing in. "Is any of the royal family on board? Or who are you carrying?" The fingers tightened further, and the officer's struggle became more and more frantic. His last words were muffled and choked past intelligibility. Vader was not pleased. Even though the figure went limp with an awful, unquestionable finality, the hand continued to tighten, producing a chilling snapping and popping of bone like a dog patting on plastic. Then, with a disgusted wheeze, Vader finally threw the doll form of the dead man against the far wall. Several Imperial troops ducked out of the way just in time to avoid the grisly missile. The massive form whirled unexpectedly, and the Imperial officer shrank under that baleful stare. "Start tearing the ship apart piece by piece, component by component, until you find those tapes. As for the passengers, if any, I want them alive." He paused a moment, then added, "Quickly!" The officers and men nearly fell over themselves in their haste to leave, not necessarily to carry out Vader's orders. Hi, how are you? Empty and sinks. Stinks? Oh, stinks. Sorry, can't read. Well, I can read, just not very well sometimes. That's good. Not necessarily to carry out Vader's orders, but simply to retreat from that malevolent presence. R2-D2 finally came to a halt in an empty corridor devoid of smoke and the signs of battle. A worried, confused 3PO pulled up behind him. "You've led us through half the ship until what?" He broke off, staring in disbelief as the squat robot reached up with one clawed limb and snapped the seal on the lifeboat hatch. Immediately a red warning light came on and a low hooting sounded in the corridor. 3PO looked wildly in all directions, but the passageway remained empty. When he looked back, R2 was already working his way into the cramped boat pod. It was just large enough to hold several humans, and its design was not laid out to accommodate mechanicals. R2 had some trouble negotiating the awkward little compartment. Hold on. Don't mind my monkey blanket. Oh, hi. How are you? And you're not interrupting, don't worry. That's good. Sorry, making sure Gideon didn't wake up. I was reading the first book in the Star Wars trilogy. Well, the first book in this one. Thank you for those. We don't talk about those. That was loud. Not really. I'm joking. Kind of. But yes, thank you. Ouch. I gotta hang now. What have you been up to? God. Let me think about it. That's good. Maybe. I've mostly been sleeping. Well, half of my day is spent sleeping and half of it's been spent staying up with Gideon, so pretty boring right now. Good. I enjoy reading. Sometimes. I sometimes feel awkward because I stumble over my words sometimes. But I enjoy it. I finished the Harry Potter series with Gideon, so I've been reading The Hobbit with him lately. I just started that series 2 days ago, I think. Me too. I like The Lord of the Rings as well, but those are a little hard to get through when you're reading them out loud, I think. I've actually been reading 2 different series with him. Yeah. Well, Tolkien he's a great author, but, and I'm all for, like, describing stuff, but he also spends like 3 pages talking about a tree. It's like, I'm all for a description, but you kind of have to narrow it down a little bit. But I know that he's trying to paint a picture in your head of what things look like, but I think you can do that in like a paragraph or 2, if like at the most. But yeah, so probably won't be reading those out loud to him. Eventually I want to get the book series for when he's older, so he can read them if he wants to. Oh, I got the 3rd illustrated book on the Harry Potter series, which, it looks pretty cool. I like the pictures in that one. Though, I feel like they have a picture of Severus Snape, but I feel like they have one in the first book, and I think they're completely different. Hold on, I actually want to see that. Hold on. Okay, hold on. It's gonna be dark for this. Okay. Messy clothes all over the floor. Okay. Hold on. I'll be staring at the ceiling. Hold on. Okay. I'm actually gonna be sitting on the floor real quick. You can go right there. Alright, So, oh, here we go. Let's see. Sorcerer's Stone. No. Norwegian Ridgeback. Ron Weasley. Hermione. Troll. Yeah, okay, so okay, yeah, so what can I guess? Buckbeak. Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. Buckbeak is on this one. Ooh, Marauder's Map. Where is it? Okay. Actually, let me see if Severus Snape is in this one too. Oh, spiders. I hate spiders. I don't think he's in this one. Mandrakes are so weird. Ugh, I hate spiders. That might be part of the reason why I like Ron so much. Okay. I've never read those books. Okay, hold on. I will. Hold on. Yeah, we were looking at the same one again. Alright. Hey. Okay, so this is how they have Professor Snape in the first illustrated. Whoa. Hold on. That's a horrible glare. In the first illustrated book. Creepy, but yeah. And then this is how they have him in the second, or in the third illustrated book. He's completely different. And I feel like he looks more like Argus Filch if Argus Filch had like greasy black hair. Well, that's how I pictured Argus Filch. But yeah. Though, the third one has a whole thing, like, picture of, or a whole section on werewolves. That's creepy. Also, that's how Snape looks at the end of the book. And he's even different then too. But yeah, the pictures are really good. Let me see. Oh. Let me see. There's that part on werewolves. Oh, they also have the Marauders map in here. Brendilo. Oh. There's Crookshanks and Scabbers. Well, aka Peter Pettigrew. Oh, that's cool. That's how they show Patronuses, which that's pretty cool. Oh, poor Lupin. Oh. The infamous night bus. That's pretty cool. With a teddy bear strapped to the front. With a teddy bear strapped to the front, of course. Oh, here it is. Oh, I wouldn't give anything to make it a... See, that's the werewolf. I'm not good at this kind of illustration. I'm good at like cartoon, like comics, or like comic strips. I'm good at that kind of drawing. But not so much on this kind. And they have the Marauders map. Well, part of it. Did you know that in the book, it was Dumbledore who gave Harry the firebolt? Or wait, no. Yeah. Or well, it was Sirius who sent the firebolt. But in the movie, no. In the first book, Dumbledore sends Harry a Nimbus 2000, though in the movie it said that Professor McGonagall did. And then in the third book, Sirius sends Harry a firebolt, but in the movie it completely leaves out the whole argument that Harry had with Professor McGonagall about whether or not any spells or hexes were put on it, where in the movie I think they just showed like the Quidditch match between Gryffindor and hello, I only speak English. The match between Gryffindor and Ravenclaw, I believe that's what it is. But yeah. Hi, how are you? Do you prefer watching the Harry Potter movies? I prefer reading the books, mostly because the movies leave out a lot of information. I'm alright. A bit tired though. Like in the movies, well, no. For example, like, Harry's relationship with Ginny. In the books, they have a lot of character build up between the two, starting from the first book, or where in the movies you don't really see that much until like the 5th movie, I think. So when they start dating, it kind of feels forced, where in the books you don't get that. Like, it's a smooth, like, it's smooth, like, yeah, it makes sense that they're dating. But yeah, well, yeah, and then like well, I've also just started watching a lot of the interviews I watch with her, she says that she likes them. Well, she also was a big part in the making of the movies. And of course you can't fit everything in all the movies. Like, you can't fit every piece of information in the books in a movie, or it's gonna be like 7 hours long. Though I probably would watch a 7-hour long Harry Potter movie, just because that's me. But I feel like there's a lot of information that they should have figured out a way to put in the movies. And there was a lot of information in the movies that really didn't feel like it fit, I guess, or they just showed it weird. Well, so, for example, like the first movie, one thing that I was really upset about that they didn't show, hi, how are you? One thing that I wish they had shown was Harry Potter's first interaction with Draco Malfoy. Hi, how are you? Like in the first book, Harry meets Draco in Diagon Alley, when he's trying on robes. Or gets fitted for robes. In the first movie, he meets Draco on the train. And there's no, like, you don't see the animosity between the two until that scene. Even though in the books, Harry already has an encounter with Draco that makes him not like Draco. And so in the movies, you feel like Draco didn't like Harry because Harry chose Ron over Draco, and really, in reality, in the books, Harry chose Hagrid over Draco because Draco said a comment about Hagrid, and not a very good comment, and Harry stood up for Draco, which is why Draco didn't like him. Even though at that point Draco had no idea who Harry was in that encounter. So yeah, I like the books better. I still love the movies. They're probably my favorite movie series to watch. But you don't get lost in the series like you do when you're reading the books. I mean, you get that with any movie, though. If a movie is based off a book, you get lost in the book, which is why I love reading. But yeah, so that was my whole, kind of ranted a little, but, well, like, yeah. Well, it's like, in the, in the second movie, yeah. In the second movie, you first find out about, you first find out about Aragog, the huge spider. In the movies, that's also the book, or also the movie that you find out that Ron hates spiders. When in the first book, there's an encounter with a spider, and Ron says that he hates spiders, that he's absolutely terrified of them. So in the second book, Harry already knew that Ron didn't like spiders, yet Harry is still forced Ron to go with him to talk to Aragog. I say forced because Harry doesn't really force anyone to do anything. Ron still chose to go with him in the end, even though he's terrified of spiders. Now that's a good friend. Seriously. I hate spiders. Like, just the thought of, like, going into a nest of giant spiders like that, and, like, I couldn't do that. I don't, like, I want to say that I'm a good friend, but if you make me go into a nest of giant spiders, I'm probably going to run out there screaming my head off. Yeah, probably going to be screaming my head off because, like, I am terrified of spiders. No. Ew. That's gross. I'm sorry. I hope that didn't hurt. But it probably did if it's big. No. I've been terrified of spiders my whole life. I don't really know why. I probably got bit by a spider or something happened at some point, but yeah. I can deal with cockroaches. I can deal with earwigs. I can deal with centipedes and millipedes and any other kind of creepy crawly bug, but spiders? Nope. Can't do it. Like, for a while we had this hole in our shower that we were getting earwigs crawling through the shower. It was disgusting. Didn't scare me, but it grossed me out. Thankfully we got our whole shower fixed and we don't have that issue anymore. But yeah. Our house is old, and the person who owned the house before us didn't take very good care of the showers. Well, either of the bathrooms. And I think that, like, the bathtub had issues before, but they kind of just put this, like, insert over it to kind of make it look like it's okay. But eventually it started falling apart and just made it worse. It was like putting a Band-Aid over a bullet hole, pretty much. It's not gonna help. The problems are still gonna be there when you take the Band-Aid off. And that's pretty much what happened. Yeah. But oh no, don't tell me that. I don't wanna think about that. I don't wanna think about that. Gross. Duh. No. Why do you do that to me? No. It's bad enough that I was reading the last book to Gideon last week, and they were talking about how the spiders were fighting with Voldemort. I don't remember if the last movie showed the spiders or not. I don't think they did. Because in the books, leading up to when Fred died, let's see, Grop, Hagrid's half-brother, throws Hagrid through the window of Hogwarts. And when Hagrid gets through the window, and as he's talking, a giant spider comes through the window as well. And so they stun it, because Hagrid didn't want to kill it. So they stunned it, which pushed all the other ones down. Well, at that point, a wizard blew up the wall, which hit Fred, which is what killed him. But I don't think that the movie showed Gruff or the spiders. I think it just shows the wizards blowing through the wall. I don't remember though. It's been a while since I've seen the movies. But yeah. I've also read a lot of fan fiction, so my information's not always reliable when it comes to the movies. Because sometimes my brain thinks, okay, I think this happened, and then I think about it, and then I'm like, wait, no, that actually happened in a fan fiction. That didn't actually happen in the movies. I have the first one, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, the Half-Blood Prince, and the second half of the last movie. That's okay. I like talking about Harry Potter. Probably pretty much the only topic that I have a lot of knowledge about, which kind of makes me feel bad. Hold on. Sorry, I'm back. I watched the entire Lord of the Rings films and the Hobbit trilogy, but need to watch all. Okay, let's switch. It's funny. I think I've seen all the Lord of the Rings movies. I'm not as familiar with the Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit, even though I think I had the movie. I know I had the book because I'm reading it with Gideon. I think I had the Hobbit movie, and I believe I had the first 2 movies of the Lord of the Rings, but it's been a long time since I've watched either of those movies. So I'm not as knowledgeable about those, but Harry Potter could probably ask me any question about the series and I probably will know the answer to it. Except I can't for the life of me remember what year Hi? I'm still alive. I have been streaming for 100 minutes, which is 80, 90, an hour and 20 minutes? I don't think it's been an hour and a half yet. I think 110 is an hour and a half. Because 60 minutes is an hour. 70 would be, oh wait, no, hold on. Yeah. Never mind, you're right, yeah. 70. Yeah, I know. 60 is an hour. 70 is an hour and 10 minutes. 80, 90. An hour, 10 minutes. 120, 100. Hold on. I can't do it in my head. 90, 130. No, 100 minutes is like an hour and 40 minutes. So we were both wrong. We were both off by like 10 minutes. To see. Yeah. I don't know. It's okay. I'm bad at math. I know this. I am fully aware of how bad at math I am. I'm pretty bad at most things in school. Don't feel bad. Jordan says comments like that all the time. It's okay. I'm used to it. I can't do math in my head, and I don't know why I bother to, but I still try to. Oh well. 3 people. I have 5 people. Kat, I think, is on her way to Texas. Carson probably went to bed. Megan probably is in bed too. Sorry about that. My phone died. And probably if it stops again, it's probably because my phone overheated because I'm trying to charge it. But hopefully not. Fingers crossed that it is okay. But yeah. Ah. Fuck. Ah. My hair is a complete and total mess. I don't know what to do with it. Sorry. It's probably because my phone died. Good night. It was great talking to you too. Hope you have a great night. I don't know what's going on with my hair. Some days I just want to cut all my hair off. Like, have a Britney Spears moment and just shave it all off. But then I'd probably cry. No. I like my hair too much, and it grows so slow that I would never shave my head. Though there are some days that I want to, because it is so frustrating. Like, I have a love-hate relationship with my hair. Please don't overheat. Okay, hold on. I am going to try something. I don't know if it'll work, but it might. Hold on. Stay. There we go. Ah, fuck. Whack myself in the head a little. Okay. How loud is that? Like, is that really bad? That fan? Oh, that smells gross. Ah, fuck. No, stop moving. Stupid. There we go. This is good. Yes. No, I'm pretty sure Jordan would be so upset with me if I shaved my head. That fan smells really bad. Fuck. Nope. There we go. Hopefully that'll work. I'm trying to keep my phone from overheating so it doesn't, like, shut off again. Fuck. This will just be a video of me saying fuck all over again. Or, like, all over. And over, and over, and over again. Okay. We'll see if that helps. Okay. But no. I love my long hair, but it's a bitch to have. I just need to, like, get a wig. Like, cut my hair short. Well, not like short, but like not like a pixie cut, but like short. Get a wig with long hair so that I can have some days that I have long hair and some days with short hair. Moo. That looks more like a pig nose. Oink. Oink, oink, oink. The other person who's sitting in chat probably thinks I'm crazy. And you know what? I probably am. But yeah. Oh well. I'm hungry. Moo. There we go. Moo cow. Ouch. found I have a lollipop. Hola. Cooking. But I'm not cooking. Hola, ¿cómo estás? And that's pretty much all I know in Spanish. And I pretty much only know how to say bonjour. Hable. No. I only speak English. But I'm not cooking anything. Habla. I don't remember how to say only English. So I took a DNA test a few weeks ago. I don't remember if I told you guys if I took one. Anyway, so I took a DNA test through Ancestry and found out that I'm like 54% English, Whale, and Western European. I'm 25% Irish, 4% French, and 3%, well, no. I'm 25% Irish and Scottish, 4% French, and 3% Swedish. I was like, okay. I knew about the Irish and the English, though I thought it would be the other way around. Thought I'd have more Irish than English, but yeah. I was like, that's cool. And then hola, mi nombre es no, I'm mi amiga es Katie Weed. Hello, my name is Noel. Something about your friend Katie Weed. Katie Whitehead now. It's official now. I got my new social security card. I just have to get my driver's license now, which I've needed to get a new driver's license for a while because the address is wrong. Yeah. I don't think I changed my... Yeah. My name is Noel and my friend is Katie Weed. Okay. But yes. Usually, for the most part, I can understand, like I can figure out what something says if I'm reading it or if I'm hearing it. But I can't speak it well anymore. I used to be pretty fluent in Spanish because my grandfather only spoke Spanish, but I've kind of lost most of that. And I pretty much only know how to say, je m'appelle Katie, which is, my name is Katie in French, and that's pretty much it. And I think I still pronounced it wrong. As well as, Frère Jacques, dormez-vous. I don't remember the rest of that song either. Nope. California is a good Hello, Katie. I feel like como esta means how are you? In Canada. How are you? Oh, there's one. Yeah, I need. What? Hello, Katie. How is Canada? Or how is the climate in Canada? California is very hot or something. Yes, Canada is. Hi, Katie. How's the weather in Canada? The weather here is in California is nice and warm. Canada right now is cold, though I'm not living in Canada. But Canada this time of year is cold. It took me a bit. Well, it's like I was like I know what como esta meant. And then hold on. Getting is very restless. But yeah. Glad to see I haven't totally lost my touch when it comes to Spanish. It's probably the only other language I can probably figure out with some, well, no. German I can understand, like, I can figure out a little bit sometimes. Depends on the word. I'm learning German a little bit through Jordan, but kid, you're about to roll off your bed. He's got his leg hanging off the edge of the bed. don't know if you can see it very well. Oh shoot, no, I don't know. But nope, it's not even wanting to show up. But yeah, he's got the he had his leg over the edge of his bed because we took his bed's one of those like that went from like a sorry about that. I'm gonna have to someone just fell out of bed. I am 24. I know. That scared you. That scared you. I'm going to end. I'm gonna be. I have no idea. Something. Someday I want to get in the Capitol. Yeah, his bed's one of those cribs that like you take the side out to turn it into a toddler bed, and so we just took the side. I know. He's giving you guys the stink eye. We just took the side off, so he's getting used to sleeping in a regular bed, and he just fell out of bed. Nope. So I'm gonna end the stream so I can get him back in bed. Depending on how long that takes, I might restart the stream, but mostly because it is like 3 o'clock in the morning. I am married, and I always take care of you, huh? So we shall see, but it is 3 o'clock in the morning, so chances are I probably won't stream, but I might stream tomorrow, depending on how tired I am. Can you say bye?